Hey everyone, Meinke here from MLive.com. Joined by Justin Rogers. The Lions obviously have quarterback issues, and with Matthew Stafford and his ribs and everything going on. Injury report looked good for him, I thought. Full participant, that's a really good sign. He's going to play on Sunday. Bigger concern, Justin, might be the offensive and defensive lines. Both sides of the ball up front have been...
Might be.
It's been bad so far. That's a big reason why Stafford's in the shape that he is. For you, what's the bigger concern at this point, the defensive line or the offensive line?
It's a tough call. I think we're probably going to end up agreeing here, but your quarterback's your most important property on the team, and he's not getting protected right now. The run game's not working. I have to look at that offensive line and say that is the biggest concern. After I looked at the film this week, I think the biggest problem was I couldn't identify one problem.
Right.
It was coming from all different directions, and that's not an easy fix. If it's a one guy, you replace him out, you hope you fix it. But it's problems with four or five, maybe all five, depending on how you want to look at Manny Ramirez's play. So.
And you could say the same with the offense, I think, in general, that it's not just the offensive line. It's coming from everywhere. It's hard to pinpoint really what's going on. I think, I wrote the column this week about it, but when everything is not working, I think you have to point to the coaching, because obviously there's not a level of preparation there that you would expect. Obviously what they thought they had is not there. I think they've miscalculated in several ways, but with the offensive line, sticking with the offensive line, I agree with you. I think that's the biggest concern. I think that's the biggest concern on this team. It's not Matthew Stafford. I think Stafford's been okay given the duress he's been under. In fact, if you look at the plays where he hasn't been pressured, his QB rating's over 100, and you'd expect it to be good if you're not under pressure. But again, he's executing those throws. It's when he's under duress that he's struggling. It's sub 45 right now, QB rating, and that's a problem when you've been pressured more than any quarterback besides Kaepernick and Andrew Luck. He is spending way too much time on his back, sprinting toward the sideline, whatever the case may be. He has to get better protection, I think, from the offensive line if he's going to stay in one piece, which you can argue he's not in one piece right now. And that's not even to speak of the tailbacks who have been struggling as well.
Exactly. I mean, the reason I think Stafford's taking so many hits is because defenses are able to tee off on him. They're falling behind early in these games. They're falling behind on the sticks early in downs. And the running game just isn't there. You saw a little bit of a spark from Amir Abdullah in the opener. You saw zero spark. On the 13 times the running backs ran the ball, and I'm including Joique Bell's 2-point conversion, hit in the backfield 8 times. Yeah. I asked Amir Abdullah about it today. Being the good teammate he is, he said, it's our job to make that first guy miss, even if he's in the backfield. Well, that's nice, that's fine, but that first guy shouldn't be in the backfield. And if the Lions are going to continue to get hit in the backfield, not have holes for running backs, not get in manageable second and third down situations, and fall behind in the games, Stafford's going to continue to get leveled over and over and over this season until they're going to have to go to a backup.
Yeah, it's a one-dimensional offense right now with the absence of a running game, and that one dimension's not doing anything. So it's a major problem. And when you look at this game against the Broncos, I really believe Stafford's going to start, given his relative health, given the fact that he was a full participant on the first day of practice. But whether he finishes that game is a bigger question, because the Broncos, they have some pretty good edge rushers, and with DeMarcus Ware looking like he's 24 years old, that's going to be a very formidable challenge for the Lions. And with the problems they've had, we've talked to blue in the face about Cornelius Lucas, but Riley Reif hasn't been very good either. Nearly 20 pressures allowed from between the right tackle and the left tackle, and half of them are coming from Stafford's blind side. Major issues, and now you go up against a Broncos team that's rushing the passer exceptionally well from the edge position. That's a matchup. That's the biggest matchup disadvantage, I think, for the Lions going into this game.
Yeah, and we can't let the defensive line off the hook in this conversation. I think Ezekiel Ansah's played very well. The other 8 guys, not so much. I think loading out has been average, maybe even slightly below average. That is not acceptable for the guy you brought in to replace Ndamukong Suh. Tyron Walker really struggled, I think, in the second game, was moved easily by the Vikings offensive linemen. They're not getting consistent pass rush pressure from other spots other than Ansah, and it all starts up front. It all starts, they say the value of the player is inversely proportionate to their distance to the ball. Well, defensive line starts close to the ball, and if you're not going to stop the running lanes and you're not going to get to the quarterback, then it doesn't matter who your linebackers, safeties, and corners are, because they're going to get picked apart. What's the completion percentage right now? Something like 97% of passes are incomplete. It's terrible.
Yeah.
And you're going to go against Peyton Manning now? Good luck with that.
This defense at its best was predicated on the defensive line in the front seven and getting pressure on the quarterback. And that's something we knew coming into the year they couldn't necessarily count on. We knew that there was going to be a backslide of some sort with Sue gone, and with the exodus they had a defensive tackle. But it seems like maybe the only people who didn't expect that or anticipate for that was the coaching staff, who said, we got Nada, we got this 5-time All-Pro. There's not going to be a backside. We have confidence in our guys, and they're just not getting enough pressure. They're getting blown off the ball, and that's making everyone else look worse too. It's making the linebackers look worse. It's making the secondary look worse. Hannibal had a real bad game the first week with missed tackles. Bounced back, I thought, a little bit against the Vikings, but Mathis has been picked on. Other guys will be picked on as well if the Lions can't generate more pressure outside of onside. He had the only sack last week against the Vikings. The Lions need more rush. They need more push against the run, and until they do that, then I think you're going to see more struggles from that defense.
Yeah, I don't know if it's arrogance of the front office and coaching staff. That's probably too strong of a word, but they probably underestimated the impact of Sue, and I don't think that they should have resigned him. I don't think they could have. I think that the price point got too high, but the backup plan just wasn't that good of one. I think that's the bigger problem. We could talk till we're blue in the face about the Aaron Donald, Eric Ebron decision. That's going to be forever spoken about, and there's nothing they can do about it now. That mistake is in the rearview mirror, but they could have done something more in free agency this year. They could have done something more in the draft, and they didn't go that direction, and now it's biting them in the rear.
It's bad news for the defense, but again, even more foreboding, I think, is the performance and the health of the offensive line because of the ramifications it has on the quarterback, particularly for this game. Something we'll be watching throughout the week. For Justin Rogers, I'm Meinke. We are MLive. Keep it right here.